Okay, so let's look at the SeaWorld rebuttal. What is it called? What do they call it? SeaWorld, the truth. What? The truth is in our parks. And penguins? What does that say? I'm at a distance, so I can't see that.
And people.
Oh, and people. So this is the point. They did a point by point. Really an attempt at a defense to Blackfish. And I call it an attempt because this is really thin stuff here.
Okay, so the first point is SeaWorld does not capture killer whales in the wild. That is what Blackfish is saying.
Each point is a bullet, and then there's a bold sentence, and then the rest of the paragraph is same size, but just not bold.
But that, yeah.
They obviously want you just to read the bullet, each bullet with the bold sentence.
Right.
So if you did that, it sounds really great. But then when you actually read what they had to put, because obviously they're trying not to lie, then each argument really falls apart. It's actually pretty funny. I was really surprised at how bad they should hire me as their PR director. I think I could have done a better job at this. This is an awful way to try to defend yourself.
So the first point about them not capturing killer whales in the wild.
Okay, so SeaWorld does not capture killer whales in the wild. Okay, period.
They're saying they haven't captured a killer whale in the wild in 35 years.
So then, you read on, and then it says in 35 years. So it's like, yeah, you don't capture killer whales in the wild now anymore, but you have, and they're not denying that. So everything that was in the documentary, the footage that was shown, and the guy they interviewed, happened.
Yeah.
It's like, so yeah, you did in the 70s. You did go out and capture whales in the wild. It was illegal. You actually performed illegal operations. Some of them died in the attempted capture, and you tied anchors and sunk them down to the bottom to hide them. That happened. You're not denying it.
Right.
So it's great. It's hilarious. It's like SeaWorld does not capture killer whales in the wild, today. Okay, but you did. It was awful.
All right. The next one is we do not separate killer whale moms and calves.
All right, that was a big point brought up in the movie. Big dramatic scene in the movie, documentary. So this is pretty much the same as the first one. It's like, we do not separate killer whales. Well, that's not the same because it's not like they did in the past. This is still admitting that they do it sometimes now when they have to.
Right. When they say, on a rare occasion, we separate them.
So they say, we do not. And then when you read the full paragraph, they do. It says, on the rare occasion that a mother killer whale cannot care for the calf herself, we have successfully hand-raised and reintroduced the calf. And then a period. But obviously reintroduced in another state, in another park, in another state. Not anywhere near the mother. And they leave that out. It's just what's not said. Just, so they just, you're not lying, but you're just not telling the whole truth either. Then the next bullet point is they just like to tout how they invest millions of dollars in the care of our killer whales. So that's just like, we throw millions of dollars at these whales. That doesn't help defend anything, though. If you're mistreating them and people are dying, how does throwing millions of dollars at the problem make it any better?
Yeah. Well, they say in there that they have built state-of-the-art facilities. Does that mean they're humane? I don't know. Yeah.
It's still not, you haven't built the ocean. So if you want to have that argument.
Call me back when you've built the ocean. SeaWorld's killer whales' lifespans are equivalent with those in the wild.
Oh, here we go. Well, this is, the documentary brings this up, and they say how it's not the trainer, I guess the other staff in the park, I guess the trainers too. The trainers do some FaceTime with the guests where they will come out in the front of a pool and just they'll be there to chat and fill you in on information, answer questions. So I guess it's everybody, the whole staff, the trainers and anybody else in the park are trained to say how, whatever the lifespan in captivity is what the lifespan is, bar none, everywhere. And then here they're saying, so our, SeaWorld's killer whales have lifespans are equivalent to those in the wild. And then, but again, then they have to not lie, they have to say here, while studies continue, While studies continue to decide or define.
Yeah, they're essentially saying that people don't really know how long whales live in the wild.
Yeah, so you make a statement, our whales have lifespans equivalent to those in the wild. But then your backup is, well, they actually don't know yet what they live to in the wild. So then how are they equivalent? How do you know?
Right.
Maybe your whales are living longer.
Right. If you're going to put it that way, yeah.
Yeah, right? Maybe they're dying in only 10 years in the wild and you're doing a good thing. So, I mean, again, obviously this is so clearly awful. This is an awful defense. So they're saying, oh, well, the studies, the verdict's still out. We're still trying to define what the average lifespan is in the wild. And we know we have a pretty decent, most of them live to older than 30, and one is close to 50. One.
Yeah.
And that's their defense. And that's just terrible.
That's piss poor. That's not even a defense. That's just... You're just making shit up.
Isn't this great?
We don't know how long you live in the wild.
We don't know. They should. Is Guy Hayrid the director of PR at SeaWorld? Because that's what it sounds like.
They hired Guy Hayrid.
They hired Guy Hayrid. They should have. It would have been better. Just be like, we don't know. What is the average lifespan of a killer whale? You don't know. End of story. Okay, it's been defended. Those are the best ones. And then I think it kind of trails off, but what's the next one?
The killer whales in our care benefit those in the wild.
Oh, then they're just making the argument. Well, that's just a classic argument to have anything in captivity. By saying that by having the ones we do have in captivity, we're able to study them, learn things that we wouldn't otherwise know, and therefore we can better treat the ones that are in the wild. Now, I guess it's the sort of knowledge is power argument.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess there's a little validity to that, but at the same time, that's just what everybody has ever said about having anything in captivity.
Mm-hmm. Well, the last point isn't
a point at all.
Is kind of similar. Yeah, they're just saying they're a world leader in animal rescue.
Oh, well, again, it's another classic point that zoos and things like that will make is just and plus half of the animals in our in our menagerie now were actually rescued, where they had some condition where they couldn't survive anymore in the wild, and we're allowing them to live a full life by taking them in and making them do tricks.
Yeah.
So again, that's just another classic. That's not anything. No, they're not breaking any new ground with that stuff.
No.
And that's it. That's their whole defense. Isn't that just hilarious?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, they really would have been
fucking terrible.
Oh, wow. They would have been better off just not doing anything at all. I think. They should have just not even released anything at all.
No,
I
don't agree with that. You got to say something.
You think this is better than nothing, though? This is awful.
Even awful bullshit like this, you got to say something.
Why? Because it's going to fool a couple people?
I think silence is
You're gonna get
even worse, maybe.
You think? I don't think. In this case, I don't. This is...
Because silence is compliance, right? It's just... Yeah.
I guess. This is just... I just couldn't believe this when I read this. This is a major company putting this out? And this is the official, PR response? This is awful.
Well, yeah, because this went through a million people.
And it took them,
so many cooks.
Almost a month to get this, too.
Had to make this
You
thing
had
up.
that much time, and this is what you came up with?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure at first...
It's the worst travesty since Crystal Skull. You had that many years, and this is what you came up with? It's like, the more time you have, the less tolerance I have for crap.
Well, I'm sure
if they rushed this out there the day after the documentary dropped, maybe I'd have a little more understanding.
But I'm sure they were hoping that it would just go away.
I'm sure they were, but...
When they realized, oh shit, we gotta actually say something here, then they put this piece of shit together.
I just couldn't believe this. How bad this was.